Welcome back to Bow News Network. We are actually working on our daily weather report for you in regards to weather across the continental United States. We have finally gotten quite a little of a break from the severe weather in the region of Montana and the North Dakotas. We saw some really severe weather in the region along the border of Montana and North Dakota, South Dakota yesterday. And it seems like we've actually shifted a little bit now to the south along the Great Plains states, in the region of Kansas, along the line of Kansas border of Missouri. We're seeing some pretty severe weather in that region, and we'll actually break down the exact weather in the region for you. It does look like all across the country there's very, very warm temperatures. We'll actually take a closer look at the warm temperatures in various cities across the country also. And we're going to take a closer look in this forecast at some of the imagery coming in from some of the lakes in the region of the Southwest where there's a drought shortage, a drought emergency, and a water shortage. And the governor of Utah has actually extended a drought emergency in that region due to the lack of water supply for the farmers. It's not only limited to Utah, but it's a grave situation for regions in Arizona as well as New Mexico. So we're going to take a closer look at some of the images and pictures coming in from the drought-stricken region of some of the lakes in the region of Utah, Arizona, as well as New Mexico. So stay tuned for our next update for the weather. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually working on our severe watch for the area of Kansas along the area of Missouri. We see some really severe weather shaping up on our GOES 16 satellite, and it's a very serious situation as far as potential strong storms in the region of on the east side of Kansas going into Missouri, as well as overlapping into the state of Arkansas. We can actually see on our precipitation model sort of a distinct line of precipitation for the southeast region. We do see that low pressure system over the region of North Carolina, and we see a high pressure system actually making its way through the area of the South Dakotas into Nebraska and Kansas. And of course, we have another low pressure system in the region of New Mexico, and that remains to be seen how that will influence the weather as we see more low level moisture and more convective available energy moving up from the Gulf of Mexico. Keep in mind that the Gulf of Mexico at this time is hovering around temperatures of 81 to 82 degrees. So we are watching it very closely as far as the composite overlap of storm helicity in the region of Oklahoma, eastern Texas, along the I-35 corridor going into Arkansas, Louisiana, as well as Missouri. As far as the Storm Prediction Center is concerned, it is spot on as far as the radar. We could definitely see from the satellite imagery early today that there is a severe weather disturbance right on the border of Kansas and Missouri. And then if we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center, we see that enhanced area that is on a red alert, enhanced alert by NOAA for the Storm Prediction Center for the region of Springfield, Missouri, Joplin, Missouri, Cartersville, Oklahoma, Owasso, Oklahoma, and Pittsburgh, Kansas. We also see in that region overlapping with the enhanced risk out in the region of Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Norman, Oklahoma, and Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And we do see a marginal threat extending all the way down into the region of just northern Texas, southern Oklahoma, in the region of Lawton, Oklahoma, Fort Smith, Arkansas, Emporia, Kansas, Russellville, Arkansas, and Ardmore, Oklahoma. So that area and the southeast area going into northern states such as Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, and Ohio. Even the Ohio Valley and lower Mississippi Valley are on watch for pop-ups, scattered thunderstorms in the region. Um, we do need to note here that the region of South Florida up to the region of about Daytona Beach, there is some marginal risk for thunderstorm activity in that area also. But this is going to be pretty much highlighting the difference across the continental United States between the drought monitor regions of Arkansas, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Nevada, severe threat, exceptional drought risk in the region of um, Arizona, Nevada, Southern California. If we take a look at just some of the imagery coming in from the lakes, Lake Powell, other lakes in the region, we see them well below capacity. In many regions of this, in many lakes and reservoirs in this area, the capacity is 30% or lower, and it has gotten to the point where the governor of Utah has extended a drought emergency in this region. So we are definitely in the middle of an extreme drought. It's a very it's an environmental crisis at this time because many of the governors in these states are trying to convince farmers to limit the amount of farming that they're doing for this year because of their allotment of water is going to be limited to a very small fraction of what it used to be. So we do have to pray for our farmers and also those who are involved in the agriculture industry in these drought-stricken areas that we do get some more rain and precipitation in this area. Whatever snowfall that occurred in Utah is usually to build up the snowpack, and it wasn't enough to increase the precipitation and increase the level of reservoirs in this region. We can see from our temperature profile here, our temperature forecast, that it doesn't look like it's going to get better even before we start the beginning of the summer season. Temperatures in Arizona 102, temperatures in southeast New Mexico 102, temperatures in the region of Yuma, Arizona 102, in Southern California 100. Even in the region along the Gulf states, we see those sea surface temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico starting to peak and sustain themselves at about 82 to 83 degrees. So we do see a significant warming up trend of that Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to mean that there's going to be more low-level moisture being fueled into the region of the Great Plains states, which is going to be more fuel for extreme storm situations that we're actually seeing right now in the region of Kansas and Missouri, as well as Arkansas. But of course, when we take a closer look at the southwest, we see those very sharp temperatures in the region of the low 100s. Even in the region of Central California, we're touching on the 90s, with the exception of coastline areas such as San Jose and also Los Angeles. There in the upper 70s. But we do see the severe threat monitor for the region of New Mexico going into Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona and California, which will mean that there's going to be an increased risk of wildfires going into this season. So let's see what we can do as far as the dew points. This is a clear indicator, and we'll overlap not only the dew point forecast, but we'll also overlap the Cape profile, and you'll actually see what we're taking a closer look at as far as the severe spot of weather along the eastern coast borderline of Kansas and Missouri. We see that clear dry line distinction between the east coast and the west coast, with dew points on the east in the region of the mid 70s, upper 70s, even along the coastline, Gulf Coast states such as Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi are having scattered showers as a result of the low-level moisture being pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico. But we do see that clear line, and also if we look at our Cape profiling, we see the spot of where we do a crossover of Cape energy as well as wind direction. We can actually see the low level moisture of the Gulf of Mexico, all that warm, moist air being fueled into the Great Plains states. And when we take a look at the coordinates of exactly where that disturbance is, we see Cape values in the region of 4,000 to 4,500 joules per kilogram. We don't see any kind of capping mechanism that would possibly prevent any kind of really severe weather, such as the formation of supercells and other types of storm formations. So we are monitoring to see if there are going to be any tornado advisories going into the later part of tonight, into the early morning. But it is a grave situation in the region. Taking a look at some of the thunderstorm activity in the region, we see thunderstorms popping up along in near Kansas City, Topeka, Overland Park. Some of these cells are really powerful, with hail ranging from a half of an inch to an inch in diameter, and it is overlapping into the state of Missouri also. And we also see from scattered thunderstorms earlier today in the region of Richmond, and also in the region of Greensboro, North Carolina, Kills-Devil Hills, Elizabeth City, and Henson. Just a squall of very powerful thunderstorms making their way into the northeast, with local spotter reports of thunderstorm winds along the island inlet areas near Waldorf and Fredericksburg. So we're going to be taking a very closer look at what's actually happening with the temperatures. We are concerned about the escalating heat threat in the region of the southwest. But if you can take a look at some of the temperatures across the country, we do see in relatively speaking, in the area of Gainesville, 83 degrees, Atlanta, 78 degrees, Dallas, 86 degrees, in along the area of the disturbance for Kansas, Missouri, 86 degrees. When we're going further north into the region of North Dakota and South Dakota, we see temperatures in the mid 70s, and along the Great Lakes, temperatures are in the mid 80s, upper 70s. So there's a definite alert for severe temperatures in the region of Arizona, New Mexico, as well as Southern California and Nevada. We see Las Vegas coming in the mid 90s also. So we're going to be taking a really closer look and monitoring the severity of the temperatures. And of course, we're going to be monitoring the ongoing heating of the Gulf of Mexico in the preparation for our hurricane season. And we are definitely above the minimum of 80 degrees which is a prime temperature for sea surface temperatures for the Gulf of Mexico to help fuel hurricane activity and depressions and tropical storms in the region. So this is what the weather is like across the continental United States at this time. Keep in mind that we are monitoring severe weather threat for along that Kansas-Missouri border, as we mentioned, and the southeast, with these significant dew points being so escalatingly high. We're also seeing some scattered thunderstorms throughout the night into the region of possibly northern Alabama, Mississippi, into the lower Mississippi Valley, up through the northeast. So of course, we want to thank all of our Bow News Network subscribers for tuning into this latest weather report. We will continue to monitor weather and bring you latest updates. We don't see the weather as severe as it was yesterday in the region of North Dakota, South Dakota, where we saw these multiple cells of tornado advisories. But we will be monitoring the region on the coast, on the border of Kansas as well as Missouri and Arkansas for tornado advisories going into the later part of tonight into Saturday morning. Of course, we want to thank you again for tuning into BioNews Network. We will continue to bring you daily weather updates, so definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell, like this video and share it with friends and family. And thank you so much for watching BioNews Network.